check this out. It's great. It's one of the best stories I've ever read in my life.
Watch this.
Hello people, Seku-Senpai here, and happy Halloween! It is Halloween, it is Halloween, 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 Halloween. I don't know, I've you know what, to be honest, I've never seen the full movie of Nightmare Before Christmas, surprisingly. I don't know, it's never appealed to me. I've seen like the beginning, and then I've seen like the middle. In fact, I've seen all the way up to the point where it's like Christmas. And I've never seen the rest of it. But actually, no, I did see the ending where the other dude dies. But yeah, anyways, that's besides the point. Here, the title of the video, we're here to check out. In fact, well, first of all, we're back for another edition of the Endless Anime Podcast. I'm screwing up my whole introduction, but yo, we're rolling with it. Halloween edition. You know, considering that it is the end of the month and today is Halloween, at the time this is up on the channel, I felt like, you know, talking about, you know, some 10 horror anime I personally enjoy. 10 that have given me the heebie-jeebies, 10 that have actually scared me. So yeah, anyways, I'm excited to go through this. I meant to check out more horror stuff on the channel this month. I meant to actually do some live streams, check out some visual novels, some games, check out some anime, but I actually never got to do that since a bunch of stuff happened to me. A bunch of good things actually went down this month. Some fun stuff. I went and performed, got back into music. My classes are going well in school and everything, and you know, I'm almost getting my certificate and stuff. Yo, it's, you know, life has been well for me. So there's that. Also, just adjusting to this new schedule with, you know, all that stuff, and then also, you know, there's new anime that aired. So also trying to avoid copyright because that's annoying. But anyways, enough of this. Enough of me talking. Here are 10 horror anime I really enjoy, which is actually really interesting because think about the horror anime genre as a whole. It's interesting because if you go to go like on MAL or even AniList, you look up horror anime and you get like a bunch of stuff, like some shows that personally I wouldn't put in the horror genre, but I feel like it has horror-esque elements, which is why it's usually there. So I guess it's I don't want to say it's subjective, but these shows in this list are basically shows I consider to be true horrors, or at least, like I said, they scared me or made me feel uncomfortable or disturbed or anything along those lines. So yeah, if you don't see an anime on there that you'd like to see on this list, let me know in the comments below. I probably will do a part 2 to this a year from now when it's Halloween again, when it's October. But yeah, you know, I just wanted to keep this list short and sweet since, you know, I don't want this podcast to go for an extended period of time. Speaking of which, let me stop monologuing. Let's get this list going with number 1. Perfect Blue, yeah. Okay, I like literally just put this all together. I'm forgetting what I even put on my list. Perfect Blue is personally one of my favorite anime. See, this is one of those shows I was talking about where, like literally what I just mentioned, shows that are like considered in the horror genre because they have horror-esque qualities. But if I were to like give Perfect Blue a single genre, I'd say it's more psychological thriller. But then what horror show or whatever is not psychological to some extent? Yeah, what kind of could not think of that word. What kind of horror? Yeah, what horror anime or storyline in general doesn't have like some psychological elements or some thriller elements? Like, there's a lot of horror storylines that have both, or one or the other. So Perfect Blue is on this list because of that, and also because when I first saw this movie, it creeped the heck out of me. It still creeps the heck out of me. For those who don't know about Perfect Blue, it is the debut work, anime film by Satoshi Kon, based off the novel of the same name. It actually has some differences from the manga. I mean, not the manga, the novel. But Satoshi Kon, one of my favorite directors, rest in peace. He passed away like over a decade ago. But I love all of his works. Perfect Blue is one of my favorite films, animated films of all time. One of my favorite works of his. One of them. My favorite work of his is actually Opus, a manga that he actually wrote that I feel like no one talks about, but maybe I'll do like a whole video talking about some Satoshi Kon works in the future. But yo, Perfect Blue, what's Perfect Blue about? Perfect Blue is about this idol. She quits being an idol. She decides, yo, I'm going to, switch my careers. I want to become an actress now. Okay. The storyline, though, I don't want to spoil too much, but that's like the premise where it begins, and from there on, we go through like the psychological aspect of her changing careers, how the public views that, how her fans view that, some stalkers out there, because people be creepy out there, and I'm pretty sure everyone has seen this image, somewhere, where there's that image or that reflection shot. It's a really good movie, and considering the way if you're familiar with Satoshi Kon works, he really plays along, at least the way he directs storylines has to do a lot with manipulating time, space, and even makes the viewer even second guess themselves, where it's like, yo, did that happen? Is this real? Is this a dream? Is this a figment of their imagination? What is going on? And as the movie progresses, it's really you figuring things out, and the layers unveil themselves. But yo, it creeped the heck out of me when I first saw this. Watching this late at night. It's a good movie though. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, definitely give Perfect Blue a peep. I think I have another slide, right? Yeah. Who's calling the house, man? It better be someone I know. I don't know, you spam call. This guy right here. Bro. He creeped the heck out of me when I was little. He was the reason this movie scared me. Well, he's one of the reasons. I mean, there's psychological elements, but this dude right here, who the heck is leaving a message, man? It's spam calls leave a message. It's like, who cares? But yeah, this dude creeped the heck out of me. Still does creep the heck out of me. Actually, hold up. Wait, I actually have something to show you. Hold up. I love the movie so much that I not only have a poster of it in my bedroom. Woo! I almost knocked out my leg. I not only have a poster of it in my bedroom, but I also, we're doing this uncut. I also have the special edition, what is it? The, storyboards and stuff. The script and storyboard thing is really good. I might do a video talking about that one day. Like I said, I want to do like a video talking about Satoshi Kon works and everything, because one of my favorite directors. I love all of his works. The only ones I haven't seen, I still have not seen Paranoia Agent, and that's just because I just haven't gotten myself mentally in the mood. I feel like if I did see it, this would definitely be on the list. Other than that, Paprika is great. Tokyo Godfathers is great. Manga Works Opus, like I said, definitely check that out. Tropic of the Sea. Man, that one's really good. I have to do like mermaids and stuff, but it's like psychological too. I think it's cool. Dream Fossil, which is basically a collection of his works. He also did some other stuff with some other writers and stuff. I'm literally looking at my bookshelf of manga, but yeah, Perfect Blue, definitely a great film. By the way, the way I have this ordered is not from number one to not my top to least or anything. It's just, I just numbered it for the sake of organization. So yeah, 10 anime. Here's 10 anime and manga. I don't think I mentioned that in the beginning, but yeah, there's also some manga on this list as well, since when I think about how much horror anime, and like I said, when I think of the horror genre, a lot of shows I've seen are more so psychological thrillers and not horror, because I think of horror, I think of like being scared, me being uncomfortable, the storyline presenting an eerie atmosphere, and I mean, definitely have the psychological and thriller elements, but if it doesn't have that other stuff, I don't know, I feel like it's more like a separate thing in a way, which kind of Perfect Blue I get, but like I said, it gave me the eeriness, and still does, and I'm tired of this guy on my screen. Let's get out my screen. Next anime, Shiki. It's actually kind of cool that someone actually recommended me to check out Shiki like a few weeks ago. I forget what show I was talking about. Actually, I think it was when I was live streaming what shows I was going to check out for the fall season, and someone said, yo, you should definitely check out Shiki, and I was like, hey, I actually did see Shiki. I see another cultured individual in my viewers. If you ever heard of Shiki, though, it is a 2010 horror anime with vampires. Or at least I think they actually call them Shiki in the storyline, but they're vampires. So, yeah, vampire anime right here. So basically, in this town, yeah, the vampires. So basically, in this town, some people move into this nice little village in like the mountains or whatever. It's like some village, you know, think about typical anime village with the farmland and whatnot, something like that. And then they have like one cop or something, you know, something like that. Like a town like that. I think they have more than one cop, but I'm gonna go back a page because that frame keep going was distracting me. But basically, yeah, vampires are there. But no, let me take a step back. I'm skipping ahead. So, small town, village, everyone's chilling. One day, some people move. Are they vampires? No one's too sure yet. Suddenly, people are getting infected. Some weird things are going on. Overall, I had fun watching this show. Definitely give it a peep if you want. I'm trying not to say too much about it. I actually want to give this a rewatch because I forget that, this show's like 20-something episodes. So it's quite lengthy, or medium length. That's like, how long would that take for you to watch it? How long would that take me to watch it? Definitely more than a week. At my current pace that I watch shows in. But it was a fun show. Definitely a fun watch. Definitely horror-esque feels. And I think the thing that scared me most with this show was the fact, this show got gory. I forget how gory the show is. Can I even show this? Let me just skip over to my next screen. That's the thing with this video. I have some images in here. I'm just like, Seku, will I get in trouble for this on YouTube or not? So if I am to skip through some things quickly, it's because I have some images in here that are a little... I'm trying not to get demonetized here, but the thing that creeped me out most about this show is its OST, which is actually pretty good. But at the same time, it's also creepy. It's like you have some songs that are just like, this is a beautiful music. You hear the strings and everything. Someone singing that have like a beautiful voice and everything. Then we get songs like this, which, let me just mute my background music for y'all for a second because y'all can hear this. Hold up, my microphone's not. Oh, because I'm not connected to that. Oh. Y'all can't hear it. Give me a second, everybody. We're about to undo my full screen. In fact, can I just switch over to my other camera? There we go. Hold up, everyone. Yeah, I want y'all to hear this because this actually, it's a creepy theme. I was wondering why I couldn't hear some things, and now I see why. There we go. Okay, here we go. Now y'all can hear this because this is creepy. Imagine listening to that theme. Imagine watching this show in the middle of the night and then you hear that sound, that music. Accompany that with whatever is happening in the show. Someone's being attacked, chased, whatnot. Something's being revealed. It gets creepy, man. This show. It's crazy whenever someone brings this back up to me. I'm actually home alone right now, so I'm actually just looking down the hallway. Why am I doing this video right now at night? Because I did not do it earlier. That's why. But the statue in the hallway creeps me out. But my train of thought. Where was I going with this? This show give me the heebie-jeebies. This other song though. Let me play this other song. I want to get out of this frame now. I'm getting like, the music in this was just creepy, basically. And that scared me when I was watching the show. And on top of that, yeah, then accompanied with the visuals and everything, it's just... Nah, hex no. Nah, man. Nah. No, I'm good. Okay, and enough of me talking about Shiki. Actually, anything else I do want to say. Check it out. Watch it. It's a good vampire anime. I'm trying to think of how many vampire anime there are just more on the horror side and not supernatural fantasy stuff. There's Serve of the End, which that one's not horror anime. That one's just vampires who took over the world, and we're having a revolution to fight back, essentially. So, but other storylines with vampires are always like fantasy world. So I need to look that up. I gotta look that up after this. Other vampire anime that aren't in the fancy world, like no isekai vampire or anything like that, or some rom-com. I want to see like a horror vampire anime like Shiki. That's something like Dracula even, like some vampire shows up and starts attacking people and people get infected and whatnot, or try and figure stuff out. Like I want to watch something like that, man. I gotta rewatch Shiki though. I'll wait. I'm not gonna watch this at night. I've gotta watch this with someone else. In fact, I know someone who would really like this. Actually, I hit my sisters up. I think they would really like this. Anyways, that's it for Shiki. 100% give it a peep. It's really good. Good vampire anime. Sorry if I'm like blabbling all over left and right. I'm a little tired, but I wanted to get this out the way because I really wanted to have this up on the channel too. Our first manga on the list. Well, actually, it's a webtoon. Distant Sky. I always think about this manga, or I always think about this webtoon here and there. It came out in 2014, and basically has to do with one day some catastrophe happens where a bunch of people. I think it's all of Japan. Maybe I'm not sure if it's a city. I don't remember if it's a city or if it's all of Japan. Or actually, no, this doesn't even take place in Japan. I think this is Korean. So someplace in Korea or some. I'm not sure if it's all Korea, South Korea, or all of Korea. But basically, one day everything collapses like underground. And this dude, he meets up with this girl, and they're basically trying to figure out what the heck is going on? How do we survive being in here? How do we get out? Or even what happened? So yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good series. It is completed. So you can read it and finish it at the start and the end. Personally, what I liked most about it was the eeriness of it all. And trying to figure out what's actually happening too, because I think we do get answers eventually. So you do get answers to everything, but at the same time, it's the build up to receiving answers, and the fact that it's not something that's like all like exposition dumped at the end. At least I don't recollect it being that way. It was something where it's like, oh man, we get some information for this at this point in time. Later on, we get more information for that. Then later on in the ending, everything comes together. Those type of storylines. And yeah, basically what scared me most of them trying to survive being underground, because they run into some creepy humans trying to attack them. Whatever this lanky beings were. I remember those. I just remember them creeping me out. Yeah, those things were creepy. And trying to survive. Yeah. So basically, it's really following these two surviving, or even the other people that they may encounter down here. So, because if I'm not mistaken, it's not only these two characters, but I think we also go into like some other characters in different places. Maybe, I think. I could be wrong. I might be mixing this up with another storyline, but I saw this on my list that complete. I was like, whoa, I remember this. This is really good. So definitely give it a peep. Definitely creepy, and it's really good. I think you could finish. I don't think you could finish it in one sitting, but like I said, it is completed. Likewise, Shiki and the other series I mentioned. What I mentioned Shiki. I also mentioned Perfect Blue. Yeah, Perfect Blue. That's a movie. You can finish that. That's a movie. Shiki is completed, and that does have a full adaptation of the manga. Distant Sky, right? Yeah, Distant Sky is also completed, so you can finish this. It's a good read overall, though, and I like the art too. I don't know. That's a unique art style for it. Where it's not like it's like super detailed, but it's like it fits the genre, like that's something I always think about when it comes to like horror and stuff? Does the style that the animation or even the art is presented, does it work well with the series? I'm gonna be talking about this more in some other series coming up in this list, but I don't know. I think that's something interesting to think about. But overall, no, it's a great read. 100% recommend. Next, Higurashi, which is exactly what I was thinking about. Higurashi is the perfect series to talk about that contrast, and I'm about to tell you why. So, for those who don't know, Higurashi is a long series, actually. It's been going forever. I won't say it's been going forever. Initially, it started off as a visual novel. Then it got an anime adaptation. The anime has multiple seasons. I know that 2 years ago, they actually had a sequel series for it. There's a ton of manga spin-offs that expand on the world, different realities, alternate timelines, yada, yada, yada. There's other works that connect with it by the same creator. But just talk about Higurashi. Basically, in this town, similar to Shiki, how it's like a some small town, village. Everyone's just chilling, having a nice time in the countryside. But there's something off, of course. Something is off. And that is the Hinamizawa syndrome, basically. And also, there's like some other thing about like a curse, witch's curse and stuff. Basically, there's the people in the village are afraid of being affected by this curse by this witch and stuff. If I'm not mistaken, it was a witch, right? Or no, god, a deity. So yeah, basically we follow these students, these children in the village and the day-to-day lives and how each of them get infected by this syndrome, yada, 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 or even try to survive other people who are dealing with it. So, yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty good series. It's an interesting contrast because this series is scary. I don't want to say it's scary. I want to say it's a bit gory, but I don't want to say it's super gory. I mean, as I'm thinking about it, some scenes can be a little too much at points. This scene on the top corner right here, I forgot I could do this. This scene right here, if y'all seen this scene, if you know this scene, what precedes this laugh is a quite brutal scene in general. I actually remember my first introduction to Higurashi was just me watching some YouTube clips just a while back. And I was like, okay, I gotta check this series out one day. We got these crazy, what are they, in elementary school, middle school? These crazy elementary school / junior high students over here just going crazy. And I was like, yo, that's kind of interesting. And years later, then they announced the remake, which actually turned out to be a sequel because, they don't know how to let people know things until they watch them. But I watched that and I was like, okay, I gotta check out the OG, and then I worked my way back forward, backwards to forward. Y'all kind of get what I'm saying, but my background music, I forgot. I turned it down. I was wondering, why is it so silent? There we go. That Shiki background, that Shiki music, right? Eerie. But Higurashi also has a really solid soundtrack too. But with Higurashi, it's that contrast of horrifying scenes like these, and then we go over and we have the slice of life vibes mixed in with the horror, with suffering, traumas, happy vibes, and then trauma. Like, it's a really interesting series. I don't even know how to best explain it, other than how I just worded it before. But and I am back from my commercial break. Anyways, where was I with my train of thought? I was like, yo, I hear something in the house. Someone's downstairs. That's all that was. That really scared me, man. I was like, what the heck? But overall, Higurashi, a pretty solid series from beginning to end. Definitely give it a watch, everyone. It is definitely a journey like none other. All my reactions to it is actually on the channel. But if you do want to watch it on your own, first check out the OG series because it is goated. It's great. Start with Higurashi season 1, Higurashi 2, which is what Higurashi no Nakani Kai, Higurashi Kai, yeah, that's what it is. This is Higurashi Rei, which is like a 3-episode OVA where you only need to watch the last 2 episodes, or 3, I forget. But OG series is, this was really good. Like I said, all my reactions to it is on the channel. Definitely give it a peep. Then after that, then there's Go and Sotsu, which the sequel series, which some people have their questionable thoughts on. Personally, is the series that introduced me to Higurashi. So I see where people come from, where it could be better. Basically, overall, it could be better. I won't say it's terrible. It's not like the worst thing I've ever seen, but I definitely see where it could be improved, if anything. So, yeah, I'm not sure I know that some people have said the manga for it is better, but I've yet to read it, so don't take my word for it. But overall, check out OG Higurashi series if you want to see a good horror series. Definitely it builds up on things, and it's definitely more on the, I guess you could say it's more on the mystery side as well. A little psychological in some parts, but overall, creepy. Just creepy children doing creepy things to other people. Good series overall, though. Dead Tube. Now, this is another manga on the list, and this is actually one of the first horror mangas I've actually ever read. That I can recollect ever reading. I think this was the first one. And what was this? They get hooked on a real gore website called DeadTube. So DeadTube, what's DeadTube about? Basically, think of YouTube, but there's no rules. You could do whatever you want there. You could kill people. You could show a lot of things. Anything terrible you could think of, you could do that on this website, and you get paid for that. Based on the amount of views you get. My light better not explode on me. It's over making noises. I think because it's been on a little too long, but it should be fine. That could also be one of the wire things. Okay, I think I know what to do. I know what to fix. I'm thinking about stuff. But DeadTube, yeah, basically a website like that where basically there's no rules. You can do whatever on it. And this dude on the left, he gets excited filming gory things. Like, he gets straightened up, essentially, when he sees something gory. And he be filming it all. This is crazy girl right here. He encounters. Yeah, this is him filming stuff as always. It's a really gory series from start to end. It's definitely one of the most goriest mangas I've ever read. I think the first couple arcs of it are really solid and actually really, I found them really interesting. Especially that little, there's like a little murder mystery arc too, where they're like an island or something. I thought that was really good. But it's like after the first 5 or 6 volumes, it's like after then, I think that's where it starts to get a little repetitive with some things, where it's like, okay, we see that they're getting gory with this, yada yada yada. It becomes in a way a cycle that I kind of fell out of. I want to get back to reading it though, because I am curious to see how it ends. It's still going, so there is no ending yet. But I am curious to see what kind of developments there are. Maybe it's just the fact that I just fell out of it because, I needed a break from the gore. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's a pretty interesting series. If anything, what makes it scary is the fact that, there's probably websites like this that exist on the dark web. And the fact that knowing that there are websites like these, or even the fact that websites like these could even exist, I think about ways people find things entertaining. On the internet, there are various forms of video entertainment. There are various genres of shows, and we watch people competing in sports, we watch people fighting, we watch dating reality shows. There's so much content out there, and it's where will people draw the line for such things in a way? And I don't know, when I think about this series, it makes me think back on those kind of things. Like, where will the line be drawn on a series like this? Or not even on a series like this, but on like an IRL perspective in a way. Background noise, man. Background noise. And the dean turned off the hallway light. But, yeah, this is the girl that he encounters. This crazy, she be killing everyone. Did you film that all beautifully? Yeah, this series is a little crazy. I feel like some parts of it get a little repetitive. Let's see. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but it's the school arc that, I think that was the last arc I read that I really liked. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the school arc, basically, it's the school arc with the watermelon popping. If that makes sense. You know, like the watermelon game in like beach anime, they be doing that arc, basically. If people have read the manga, I think you might know what I'm talking about. That and then the school thing that was following that. So, the arc with bro's sister, basically. Anyways, that's all I gotta say about this. Next, number 6, another anime to talk about. I feel like it'd be weird if I didn't include another on this list, but it's a really good series. I feel like not too many people talk about it. I think it's 12 episodes, 12 or 13 episodes. And it's 12 or 13 episodes of a horror storyline building up. It first starts off, for me at least, it started off as a mystery, trying to figure out, what's this like, what's going on here? But the premise of it, the premise of another, which is even harder for me to explain because it's been a while, but after checking out the synopsis a bit, I do know it has to do with like, basically this classroom, there's like a curse going on in that classroom. Because I think in the past there's like some students who died or whatnot, and basically they have to do some other thing where they have to ignore someone because that will, prevent people from dying, but something off is going on and people are dying anyways. So, yeah, I think that's what it was. There's like a curse or something. I have to watch the show because I think even when I was watching it, I like knew what happened in the ending, but I felt like I was missing something. I think I'm on top of that. Like the thing, it was a curse, right? That's what it was. I have to rewatch the show. I have to rewatch some horror anime. It's been a while since I actually read and watched horror anime. Probably because I had to give myself a break from the gore and everything, but But yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty good series. I know that a lot of people may know it because of its iconic umbrella scene. Which, if you don't know what I'm talking about by umbrella scene, well, props to you. I'm happy that you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you do know what I'm talking about, my condolences that you witnessed such a thing or even know what I'm talking about. Because, man, that scene just... It just hits you, and from there on, you're like, okay, I know what kind of show this is. From that moment forward, you know what you're actually about to get into. But yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty good show. One thing I don't like, actually, just talking about horror anime and gore in general, is that I hate when shows just throw gore at you for shock value. It's like, oh man, we gotta make it scary. Oh, let's make it gory. It's like, bro, come on. Like, unless if it's like, I don't know when like the appropriate amount is for showing gore or how much gore you want to show, but I guess if it's to show how horrifying an event is for the viewer, but I don't know. This is something I was thinking about just now. Overall, check out another. It's a really solid series from beginning to end, so yeah. Next, from the New World. Now, I initially wasn't going to add this show to my list because I don't really see it as a horror anime, but as horror-esque qualities. And the most of it all is this eeriness of the world. So From the New World basically takes place in the future where, I guess in our present day, one day people started getting these telekinetic abilities and going crazy, and in the future, they create this new society where people, have to they aren't allowed to use their abilities that much and whatnot. They have to control their emotions as well, because their emotions are triggered to such abilities and may even make you lose your mind and whatnot. It's that and accompanied with other species living in this world. Hence these people, I forget what they're even called. I think they're like rat people. But yeah, overall it's a pretty good series. Like outside of the eerie elements and stuff, it's actually a pretty good storyline where we actually see not only a coming to age story, where we see the characters like age as the years go by, but we also see like a number of like questionable events of like, I don't know, like characters questioning like their own humanity and even like the actions of others and trying to do what they deem as the greater good, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm not really good with wording things like that, but it's a really good series. But the eeriness of it all, I don't know, like the way the show was presented, I had an unsettling vibe for me. And I think that's just because the way they structured the world that they were in, where it's like, okay, so we know this is the future, but it's still like you know something's off. And I don't know, I think them setting up the atmosphere like that is really good and it makes it really engaging, as it was for me, very engaging. So yeah, overall, definitely give From a New World a good watch. It's not only an eerie, like I said, not only eerie, but it's also a really good story in general. So yeah, that's why it's on this list. It's just eerie and unsettling, especially when we get into those other creatures. When you get to meet them, it's like I'm like, whoa, I didn't know the storyline's about to get this deep. Like, but yeah, overall, it's a pretty good watch. Next, Junji Ito. I couldn't think of like a work of his, so I said, he is the genre. He is on the list because the twisted works he has. For those who don't know who Junji Ito is, if you haven't heard of Junji Ito, are you a new fan of anime and manga? Junji Ito, basically, he is a really popular horror manga writer. He has written like a number of horror storylines since like the 1980s. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's been writing stories for a while. Many of which have gotten anime adaptations. And even some live action adaptations. I've never seen any of the live action ones. I don't think they're good, but yeah, a lot of popular works. I know that this year he actually has some works on, I think that's on Netflix. What is it called? Junji Ito Maniac, I think it's called. Yeah, Junji Ito Maniac. It's pretty good. I saw a few episodes here and there. Some people, I actually did react to the first episode on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know why I thought I said a different website, but yeah, some of my favorite works of his, though, that I do want to at least mention. Uzumaki, which was actually one of the first, the first one I read was Tomie. Basically this girl who cannot die, and she just messes with people. That's like a slim premise of Tomie, but Uzumaki, which actually is getting an anime adaptation. I think it's coming out early next year. It's really good. Definitely, I want to say this is definitely one of his top works. This and Tomie are definitely his top works. That was his most popular works. But Uzumaki has to do with this town that is slowly being, I guess, feared from the spiral. Yeah, basically a bunch of incidents in this town, horrific events are happening in this town where people are either being consumed by the spiral, as we see right here, or some other events with the spiral is happening, which I think is really genius in a way, showing that building a storyline centered on this object or a symbol in a way, and the many unfortunate events or series of unfortunate events that occurs with the people in this village. It's not even a village. It's like a city or town. See, I always mess up with towns and cities. I guess it's a city. Or is it more of a town? It's a town. This town gets affected. It's not a village. It's definitely not a village, but definitely a really good read. I know that the anime adaptation looks like it's actually going to be possibly his best animated adapted works. I know that there's Junji Ito Collection, which they tried to mix it up with CGI, and that didn't really go too well. There's also Gyo, which was actually a feature film based on the manga, the same title that he has. Basically, it's fish that attack. But that movie wasn't. That movie could have been better. Personally, I think it could have been better. But yeah, I mean, other than Uzumaki, another work of his that I really like. Actually, this is my favorite work of his. Uzumaki's my second. This one's more like a short story that he has. The Enigma of Amigara Faults. I actually have a video talking about this on YouTube. I think I talked about this like 2 years ago or something, or maybe 5. But basically, basically one day they discover this fault with a bunch of human-shaped holes. Some people see some of the holes and they're like, "Hey, this hole is shaped like my body. Let me go into it." That's basically the premise, and it's a storyline that just it's unsettling. that's the best way to put it. It's unsettling, and to this day, it still creeps me out. I don't want to show any visuals on it because I don't want to spoil anything, but it gets creepy. This is definitely one of his more creepier works. With Uzumaki, I want to say it's definitely some parts of it are creepy. Some of it get definitely horrific, but also unsettling. I think that's the thing with Junji Ito works. It's really unsettling overall. All his works are just unsettling. Tomie, yeah, here we go. Tomie, I did include Tomie on this list. Tomie, I guess, gets more into the comedic vibes for his works, compared to his other ones. I know that some of his works does include like horror comedy, to some extent, but Tomie definitely is more horror comedy, especially considering how repetitive the events get as the story progresses, if anything. Remina, though, this is actually one I actually read recently. Basically, some astronomer discovers some planet, a new star planet out there, and he decides to name it after his daughter. And some crazy stuff happens with the planet, and people think that's affecting the Earth, and because it's named after his daughter, people think that she's doing something with it. So, yeah, that's basically what's going on with that storyline, and it gets really insane. I think with his storylines, I feel like some of them, the longer they go on, some of them end up becoming more and more ridiculous in a way. But to some, like, when I say ridiculous, I mean like the horror, like the unsettling vibe is there, but it becomes in a way comedic. I don't really know how to explain it, but and then it's still entertaining. And then I'm entertained by it in the end. So I have no big problems with it. But I don't know, it's just a thought I just wanted to share. Number 9. Yo, I actually wasn't too sure if I wanted to include Umineko on this too, because Umineko is, first of all, Umineko. First of all, it's a visual novel. Number 1 is a visual novel by the same creators as Higurashi, and takes place in the same. Well, I don't think. Well, that's all. I don't even get into the conversation on universes and stuff. That's a whole other. That's a whole other discussion. But basically, it starts off as a murder mystery, but then we get some horror elements in there. Then we got supernatural elements in there. Then we got magic elements in there. Then we even get some shonen battles in there. Umineko is a culmination of almost every genre. Well, not every genre, but it's a combination of a lot of genres, and it is a journey like none other, to be honest. I checked out the whole visual novel on the channel for 15 months, and Umineko is a journey like none other. That's something that someone actually told me when I first started. They commented and said, "Yo, I'm glad you're checking out Umineko. You're going to enjoy it because it's a journey like none other from beginning to end." And it truly is. It is possibly, and I rarely say this ever because I hate this phrase, but when I say Umineko is peak fiction, Umineko is top of the crop. No doubt about it. I've never read a story as well. There are other storylines I really like, but one that hasn't affected me on an emotional level, like Umineko, and from an immersion level, you know. And I think that also has to do with because of how lengthy it is. Like I said, I streamed this for 15 months, going through the whole storyline. Currently, I'm reading the manga of it, and it's just so good. It's so good. If you have not checked out Umineko, 100% check it out. Murder mystery. This family goes to an island for this conference, and people die. Someone thinks it's a witch. They're trying to figure things out, and it only just spirals into a number of crazy events and really just beautiful storytelling from there on out. It's such a good storyline. I actually wanted to do a review on Umineko. I've been saying this for like months now, that I said, oh yeah, I'm going to be doing an Umineko review, everyone, and I just haven't gotten to it. I did record something last month that I was planning to have up for my 2-year anniversary since I started the game, and I just never got to editing it. And I feel like it's just going to be one of those things that I'm going to do when I'm fully feeling it, because every time I think about this storyline, I just I get a little teary-eyed. I get a little emotional because of how emotionally invested I was with it. So yeah, overall, check it out, everyone. If you have not read it, read Umineko. I'm one of those people who be telling people to read stuff all the time now. Check this out. It's great. It's one of the best stories I've ever read in my life. And that sounds like a pretty loaded sentence right there for some people. At least if someone told me that, I'd be like, are you sure about that, bro? Like, I'd be a little skeptical about it, but in all honesty, it truly is one of the best stories I've ever read in my life. So, give it a read, everyone. Please check out Umineko. It's so good. It really is. Man. Making me a little sentimental thinking about it. Anyways, we have our last anime on this list, and it's actually an anime that's currently airing. Dark Gathering. Now, I was initially reacting to this on the channel, but I ended up moving this to Patreon only because I kind of lost momentum on YouTube with it. Yada yada yada. Anyways, but Dark Gathering. What is the premise of Dark Gathering? Basically, it's a Pokemon spirit collecting show. Basically, she collects spirits, evil spirits. And we're over here, and I don't want to get too into like spoiling things as to why she's collecting spirits. Well, first of all, she's collecting them because they're evil spirits, and if they're left out, then other people get harmed by them. That's number one. But I mean, eventually there's a reason why she's collecting these spirits. Why it's a Pokemon collecting, so you know that there are spirit battles and stuff, but it's a pretty interesting series. And from that premise alone, the series actually does get dark. Like, we start off, and I think that we're just going to be chilling. No, it's not going to be like some slight little jump scare in here and there. The series goes to lengths to make you feel disturbed, and that only progresses as you. Excuse me. And it only progresses the more you watch. Like, episode 1, we're starting off. It's like, okay, we have a little spirit. They're over here doing some things. Okay, they're a little dangerous. I see what I have to put down. To this recent episode, episode 18 was. I don't want to say what went down, but that episode, man. That was traumatizing. That was traumatizing. I don't need to see that. That was an episode where I was actually getting goosebumps. I was getting the chills. I was uncomfortable that whole recording, man. That was an episode of a show. I have not been that disturbed watching a show in a hot minute. And like I said, this show actually goes to lengths to make you feel disturbed. It's not just gory stuff. It's the visuals that they show, the way they present it, the way they build up to something happening. It's just, oh my gosh. I'm more. Can I even show the one on the bottom right? On the left, I mean. Check it out though. It's currently still airing. It's gonna end It's currently on episode 17. It's going for 24 episodes, so we have like 8 more episodes, 8 more weeks. It's ending during the fall. It's ending fall season, essentially. So it's a pretty fun watch, though, outside the horror stuff. Check it out if you want. View it at your own discretion. But yeah, I mean, overall, that is it. Happy Halloween, everyone. Hopefully you have a great Halloween. Check out some of these horror anime if you want. I should have done. I was actually initially going to do a video like this in the beginning of the month, so you can watch horror anime throughout the month. But essentially, you can watch horror anime whenever you want. But since Halloween, it's like why spooky season? Why not watch it then, right? But anyways, that's all I gotta say. In the comments below, let me know what horror anime you really enjoy, you really like. These are just 10 I felt like sharing with y'all that personally I enjoyed. Also, let me know what manga as well, horror manga, visual novels. I'm so mad that a part of me is like happy with stuff that happened this month, because like I said, some good stuff happened to me this month, but at the same time, I wish I was able to have time to do some live streams and stuff, because there was I had a number of shows I wanted to check out, and even some games I wanted to play. One of the games I wanted to play was Corpse Party, but that's like a really good horror game. I also downloaded some other game that I wanted to play, but I never got to it. But it is what it is. I do plan on doing some live streams next month, though. I plan on playing a visual novel. What is it? Witch of the Holy Night. It's by Type Moon. The same creators as Fate, so it has to do with magic and stuff. But yeah, anyways, that's all I gotta say. Again, thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Endless Anime Podcast. And yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. Have yourselves a nice night. And yeah, that's all. Peace and out.